Welcome back. It's a congressional stock scandal. 4 U.S. senators now under fire for selling off millions of dollars worth of stocks in the days before the coronavirus crashed the American economy. Democrat Dianne Feinstein and Republicans Richard Burr, Kelly Loeffler, and James Inhofe all dumped assets following a reportedly classified all-senators briefing at the end of January. Now, all 4 of the senators are denying any wrongdoing, and Senator Burr is calling for an ethics review of his own actions. Senator Loeffler was grilled this morning by Fox's Ed Henry on America's Newsroom.
You thought the government was prepared, yet shortly after that tweet that I just noted, you sold over $1 million in stocks in your own personal portfolio before the market went down. Were you trading on inside information about what was coming?
Well, I'm really glad you asked, Ed, because I do want to set the record straight. I've seen some of those stories, and it's absolutely false, and it could not be true. So if you actually look at the personal transaction reports that were filed, it notices at the bottom that I'm only informed of my transactions after they occur, several weeks.
So, I mean, it's hard to make sense of all of this. So let me just start by asking you, Jesse, is this serious? In the Loeffler case, it's also an issue that not only did she sell stuff, but then she bought stuff, and one of the items she bought was to help people who have to work at home, software. What do you think?
It looks really bad. All 4 of them have different levels of sketchiness. I'll start with the least sketchy. Inhofe says he was never even at the briefing on the virus and said he's been moving money from stocks to mutual funds for the last 2 years. He sold the least amount of stock. Feinstein says, you know what, it was a blind trust. It was my husband's doing. I wasn't even at the briefing on the virus either. And it was just one company, but it was $6 million in a biotech company. We don't really know much else about that. Now, Loeffler, her husband's the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah. She sold these stocks on the day of the briefing, right after it happened. And like you said, not only did she sell a lot of stocks, she bought a stock which benefits from a software that helps teleworking, people that work from home. It doesn't look very good. Perfectly timed. Also perfectly timed, Richard Burr liquidated almost his entire portfolio. And he has all the intel because he's the top intel guy in the Senate. And he was telling people privately that this pandemic was going to be as bad as the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. Also perfectly timed right before the market dropped. And he said, oh, well, I traded it because I saw some news on CNBC. I think everybody needs to be investigated and treated fairly, but a really bad look.
Emily, Senator Burr says simply, you know what, it wasn't my actions, even if you were to try to put them together. The fact is, he says he had no special intelligence, although he's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. He says everything that he did was based on public reports. What do you think?
Right. He said, I only listened to CNBC covering the Asia markets. Look, in my opinion, to kind of go off of Jesse's ranking of the outlaws, the top 2 are the worst. And Senator Burr's is the worst by far. It's worse than Loeffler. And here's why. Because his reported net worth 2 years ago was $1.7 million. And as you just said, he sold off between $600,000 and $1.7 million. So nearly all of his reported net worth. And of course, the disparity between his public and his private comments and his vote in 2012 against a rule in Congress banning insider trading. Yeah. It obviously raises a lot of questions. And Loeffler, by the way, her reported net worth is $500 million. And the most she reportedly sold off was $3.1 million. So that's less than 1%. She has the same defense that Feinstein does, which is, I didn't know about it. I learned about it weeks after. You know, Feinstein says it's in a blind trust. Other people do it for me. But we'll see what happens.
Well, Greg, what do you think? I mean, you're normally a skeptic. I know public officials sometimes anger you.
Yes.
So what are you thinking about this?
I am more upset, I guess, at all of them for not knowing more about the issue in general. Yeah, I agree with everything that Jesse and Emily said about the levels of guilt. But I'm kind of ticked off. What date was that meeting? It was at end of January, end of February.
End of January.
Yeah, January 24th.
Okay, so that was, we talked on the 5.
That was right when the president was shutting down the travel.
Yeah, exactly. So they could argue that they watched the 5 and heard us arguing about it, and that's what I would do if I was their lawyer. But my point,
Instead, they said they watched CNBC.
yes, exactly. So screw them. But no, but I guess the thing is, I'm just two things. I'm more upset that these people weren't on the ball 2 or 3 weeks earlier and could have acted more for the American people than their stock portfolio. But I'm also just ticked off in general at the stock market in the instability and frantic emotional response they are every day. I mean, today it swung from 800 up to 900 down, and it's like I feel like I'm around a drunk, you know, driving down the middle of the road, and it's like, can we drug the stock market? Can we drug them for a month, put them to sleep, and wake them up when this is over?
It's a roller coaster.
Yes.
Dana, you know what struck me was this report, Jesse touched on it, that Burr was in a private luncheon at the Capitol Hill Club in D.C., and he says to his guests, this is going to be like the 1918 pandemic. So how can he now say that he didn't know what was going to come?
In addition, he wrote an op-ed piece basically saying the U.S. is prepared. Okay, so the interesting thing is, this is why people get mad about this. Up until 2012, insider trading by people that are members of Congress was not even illegal. Okay, so and there was funny business going on, and so there was this law. So the Stock Act comes into place. They have to report, and this is the thing. This is the thing. I mean, think of that. I can't remember his name. The congressman from upstate New York who sends the text message from the White House on the South Lawn, where they were having a congressional picnic, telling his family, hey, you might want to sell this stuff. Look, they get caught. And maybe, I think here's what I would do. If I were ever going to be a member of Congress, I would want to not know.
Exactly.
I would want to put it in a blind trust so that you just not even have the possibility
what do you think
of a perception that like this. I mean, if this ends any careers, it's a terrible, terrible legacy.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that you've said it, I don't know what I'm going to do with my vote for Perino button, but, you know.
You'll never have to wear it.
All right.